Friday, everyone.
Hey people, how you doing?
Happy Friday. How was everybody's week?
Hope it was great. Hope you all smiled a lot. The weather's been phenomenal, so you had to be enjoying
Yeah,
that.
beautiful weather out there, yes.
Um,
And always keep smiling. Don't let anybody get you down or nothing.
Before we start, I got to tell you something. Seriously, I really appreciate you people. I've been getting so many nice comments and stuff on this, and
Yes, we got a lot of
you know,
views, nice
we
comments.
goof around a lot, but from my heart, really, we really
We
appreciate.
really appreciate it from the heart.
Yeah,
Yes,
that,
thank you
that
very
you even
much.
take your time to watch this. I mean, we know we're kind of ridiculous. We're just trying to make things a little simpler. That's the whole idea behind our. My grandmother used to say, "Kids, keep it simple, stupid."
Right.
And
Common sense.
she was usually talking to me, and I was the stupid.
Right. We're just
Anyway,
trying to make some common sense out there, that's all.
just trying to make things right. Anyway, so today the first. Well, do you want to take the first one, or you want me to? It's up to you. It doesn't matter.
Well, actually, I just want to say one thing
Go ahead, please.
that bothered me the most. One of the things that bothered me is the immigration. The illegals are putting into a hotel and they took out our vets. Now, just a reminder, these vets fought for our country. So you can have your freedom and do whatever you want.
Well, now can I jump in real
Yes.
quick? I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
you want
no,
to go?
that-
Do you want to finish? It's
No,
okay.
that just bothered me because I mean, that's just.
I totally agree. First off,
disgusting.
I have a problem with this ever since they did the Randall's Island thing,
Right.
where they put up tents
Tents
for
in Randall's
immigrants.
Island, yes.
Within a day, they had enough tents. They had enough occupation to put, I believe, 500 immigrants out
Illegals.
there.
Right.
Why couldn't this have been done with
When our vets
with the
needed it.
vets when they needed it on a more permanent level, using the 18-wheelers,
Right.
you know, the trailers in the back, the
trailers.
40-foot. Those can make beautiful homes. And let me tell you, if you ain't got a home, they're a dry place to sleep, if nothing else.
Right.
Okay, so but this should have been done years ago.
Years ago.
They could have built one on top of the other on top of the other. At this point, the homeless situation could probably be handled that way with all the land we have lying around that's not being used.
Let's just say that there's homeless period out there. But now to throw our vets out in the street over
Right.
illegals. I'll repeat, illegal.
Okay, but what do you think about them putting the illegals in the gyms of the schools?
That's insane.
I mean, think about that.
Well, every parent out there is fighting for that now.
Well, you're talking about now they're going to be getting undressed. They're going to be showering there. They're going to be doing this with kids, not adults,
Kids that go to a gym.
And majority, you have to
Okay.
realize, I'm not saying they're all, but majority of these individuals,
Are young
these
men.
immigrants, are young men, but they're over the age of 18. The girls in the school are under the age of 18. You don't think there'll be some sort of commingling? You don't think that at some point these guys are going to go after
It's
the
just sick to
women,
do that. If you got
the
children,
girls?
that's why I saw parents today. They're on the news. They're fighting to stop this.
You have to. I mean, that's
Mayor
absurd.
Adams is insane.
And then, not even that. Go for another area here. They're not checked in terms of health wise. Okay.
I was just about to say that their health is very bad.
You could turn around. You could say, well, COVID. Okay, COVID is the least of the problems when it comes to this sort of stuff.
Well,
Okay,
they got everything.
they're coming through water that is not exactly the cleanest water to going. They're coming through situations where they can pick up everything from flesh-eating bacteria to the common cold. I mean, let's get real. So, and they could be bringing this into contact with your children. Now, they're coming from
All different kinds of countries.
they're coming from 124. I'm going to shut that off. I would take this because it's just fun to do, but I'm getting too into this right now. They're coming from, I believe, somewhere between 124 and 140 countries. Okay. Now, here's the problem with that.
Clue.
Listen, I got to stop saying okay. That doesn't sound good. I've watched it, and I know how annoying that is, and I'm going to try to stop it because I don't want to annoy you people. Anyway, but here's where we're at. So 124 to 140 countries are coming in. We live in the United States. We have a certain indigenous group of germs that we deal with, okay, that are just strictly to this country. The reason you need to get shots when you go to like Africa or you go is because you're not assimilated
affiliated with their disease.
to their diseases. You don't know what they have,
You
and
don't
your
know.
body is never. And the only way the body gets stronger is
You
through
got to travel
introduction.
across country anyway. You got to get a shot.
Right. Any shot you get, they're just introducing that particular disease to your
Right.
body in a safe way. And then your body's learning how to fight it.
Right.
And that's how the shot works, okay? So, again, I did it. I'm so sorry. Anyway, here's where we're at.
It's okay.
Don't fuck around with me, man. Anyway, I'm trying my best. Here's where we're at. At that point, when you put that around children whose immune systems haven't fully developed,
right? They're gonna get
you don't know
sick.
what's
You
going to
don't
happen.
know.
You have no idea where it's going to
You
go,
can't
how it's
do
going to get
that.
there, okay? There's
And these are the people that made the city sanctuary. Now they can't handle it. And
Right.
now they want to put kids involved.
Right.
Come on, it's insane.
I mean, the whole thing is just so absurd. It's enough to drive you nuts. I mean,
Yeah, it's like, what are they smoking? Give me some. I don't know.
well, I've had that, so I can't. I can't.
Yeah, well, it must not be good. I don't know.
My shit is good, but it's not that good that you can convince me that that's a good idea.
Nah, that's insane.
Yeah, there's just so many bad ideas to it, bad things to that idea.
Right. Pray that the parents will win that one because they've been fighting for that they don't have to have that kids go through that.
Okay.
I'm on their side, parents.
I just want to see if there's anything else I have to say about it.
Your back. That's it. I just discussed it tonight because these are our vets that fought where we have the right to sit here right now, what we're doing.
What really made me think
Freedom.
was I also found out there's like 85,000 children. I'm talking about under the age of 8, under the age of 10 maybe, that are lost, literally lost, and nobody knows where they are. They could be used for trafficking. They could be used for sex, state slavery.
Anything,
they could be used for
labor,
whatever. So, and they don't seem to be concerned about that. Now, if they're not concerned about that, I can't imagine they're concerned about the kids that are in school. Okay,
here in our country.
So that kind of makes me think they're not even thinking about what the possible situations that could arise from putting these immigrants into the schools. It makes absolutely no sense.
There's a lot of reasons why not to.
But I'll tell you seriously. I'm not okay. So getting back to here's a great one. Do you know right now half of New York City hotels, half are migrant occupied. So and these are $300 a night hotels. So you're talking about for a month, you're talking about $9,000, give or take.
Right. So your tax money is going to pay for them.
And think about that. And a half of the hotels. So now stop and think about these hotels not making money on those rooms. Guess where that money's got to come from? The other occupants that are actually paying to be there. So now your room went from $300 a night
to like 5-6.
To like 5-6, exactly. Between all charges and
Sure, you got to pay for them.
Yeah, somebody's got to make up for these rooms. They can't just have they can't just have a room that's not being paid for,
Nope.
And they can't rent it because somebody's in it.
So stay home.
It's just the whole situation is just insane.
You gotta stay home, take it easy.
The migrant situation
is out of control.
If you get caught here and you're illegal, you should be literally put out and not be allowed to come back. And I mean, not at all, not even apply for regular citizenship, because if you're willing to just go against our laws easily,
you don't care.
You shouldn't be here. You just shouldn't be here. All right. Is there anything else you want to say about this?
No, that's it. That's all I just wanted to bring up.
All right.
I just thought it was a very sad situation.
Okay, let's go on to one that I find a little bit amusing, because this might be a really long show. I got to tell you, because there's so much crap.
Sad and amusing at the same time.
There's so much crap.
We're going to talk a little about race now.
Okay.
That's right, because this guy. Go ahead.
Well, okay. So here's what I don't understand. Okay.
It's a shame.
I've seen Animal House and I've seen Revenge of the Nerds, and for sororities and frat houses, for example. Okay, that's the kind of way I'm going with this. I thought you had to pledge to them, then you had to be like this plebe who like does everything they tell you, and even at the end, if you go through all of this crap and get hazed and everything else, they could still turn around and do something called blackballing you, which means that they're not gonna allow you in the fraternity. Right? So there's this sorority who has this 6'2", 200, and I believe 85 pound
Wisconsin
guy. He's a guy. I mean, you look at this guy. He basically
200, 6'2", right? 200.
Right, no, he's more than 200. He's like 285.
Right, over
200. He's literally. I'm not even joking. Half the size of a Volkswagen.
That's right.
I'm not even kidding when I tell you that. Look it up if you think I'm kidding. Look it up. Anyway, so they're being forced to allow this guy into their sorority. The sorority, and the girls hate it. The girls hate it. They say they.
No, because you're right. Because in the past they said the rules that they were told that
it was supposed to be kept female.
It's just all female.
Right, but the main sorority, the mother sorority, I guess you'd call it, is forcing them to take in this trans. I'm saying trans, but it's really not. If you look at him, basically he just puts on a little bit of eye makeup and puts on lipstick
and a wig, maybe.
And with a cap over it.
With a cap over.
But there's no. He's not even trying to look like a woman. Don't even kid yourself. But they're saying that when they're walking around in their towels and stuff, he's standing there with an erection. Literally, he's standing there like naked with an erection.
He's got his towel, all right.
He's got his towel, but the erection's sticking out from the towel. You know, looks like maybe
Any
a
man
tent or
knows that,
something.
you see, come on.
So, what I don't understand is, I don't
How
understand,
do you
first
get away
off,
with it?
that a sorority, which really is supposed to be women, and we're going to get into this too, because I actually want to go another route with this, because this is absurd. Okay, first off, there's no way that this guy should even be
No.
inside this house, this
One, you're
sorority
breaking
house.
a contract, you're breaking the rules.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's
Okay.
not. He's a he. End of story.
It's a man, go look at it.
But
Just look it up.
now listen, I'm going to tell you that. Gosh damn it, I'm going to tell you that I've made mistakes. Okay, and my mistake is only a half a mistake, but I'm going to correct it right now. So I've said that there are only two genders. Oh my God, I can't imagine what you guys just did. I got to imagine all your eyes went up in the air like, oh shit, they got him too. No, they didn't. Okay, let me explain. Okay, before you judge what I'm going to say, let me explain. I think you'll agree with me in the end. Okay, because it's just facts. Okay, first of all, I want to be very clear about this. On a genetic level, right? Go ahead. You want to say it?
No, genetic level. I was about to say it.
Go.
Genetic level.
On a genetic level, there are only two genders. You either have XX, XY.
XY.
That's it. It doesn't. There's no XZ. There's no XL,
XLM.
XLM, and OP.
Right. We're not going through the alphabet.
Yeah, that doesn't exist. It's XX or XY. Two genders. Okay. However, now here's where it gets a little winky. When you get to the physical aspect of it, you have people who are born with penises, people who are born with vaginas, that's men and women, and then you also have a third category, okay, that everybody seems to forget about. It's called a hermaphrodite. And a hermaphrodite is born with both male and female genitalia. However, okay, the genetic makeup of the hermaphrodite will always be the same as male because they have the male appendage.
Right.
And so the female, listen, the female is present in all of us. Okay, the X is present in all of us. All right, there's no changing that.
Right.
The difference is, do we have another X or do we have a Y? That's it. That's the only difference. In a hermaphrodite's case, they're already represented by the female as the X. Okay. So in order to be represented as the male, they then have to have a Y. So they're always going to come up on a. God, I'm sorry.
No, as you said, they're always going to come with X and a Y.
All right, they're always going to come up on a genetic scale as a male.
Right.
Okay, so if you take genetics of a
X and Y is the male.
Right, and yet they could look totally female. They could look, it's not that. They just don't have a choice. They have both in them. So there are really three physical genders. Okay, you have male, female, and male and female.
But there were two.
But that's not somebody trying to change their gender, which is a totally different thing entirely. So if you put on a dress, you say, I'm a female. And you have a penis as big as a cucumber.
And you're XY.
You're not a female. And the sad part about it is, if you just act normal, by normal I mean like a normal female would, don't get into all of this like Dylan Mulvaney shit where you're hula hooping and you're doing. Listen, that's a 3-year-old. I'm sorry, I'm lying. That's a 9-year-old. All right.
Right.
If you want to act like a 9-year-old child because that's what you think a woman is, you're out of your mind. Women are responsible. Women are
caring,
entertaining on an intelligent level.
Mm-hmm.
Women are
strong.
They're strong. They're not the way you portray them. Okay, your average person who is trans or dresses trans wise go so far to the feminine side that they miss out on all the good qualities of women. Okay, and I don't mean that feminine is a bad quality by any means. I think feminine is one of the most sexy things I've ever seen in my life. However, okay, saying that, the most attractive things about a woman, if you're really looking to be in a relationship, I'm not talking about if you're looking for a set of big tits and a big ass, and I'm not talking about that.
I'm talking about a relationship with heart.
I'm talking about if you really want to you want to be with someone you like. Okay, the real things that get you are the way they think. Okay, the way their sense of humor works with yours. Okay, and I know this sounds really like a bunch of dribble, but I actually do mean this.
Well, it's true.
And I'm not saying that trans don't have this, but what their problem is, they're trying. If you watch The Honeymooners, you'll understand this. They're trying to be like the cookie guy's wife. Okay, some of you will get that. Basically, what I mean by that is they're trying to be like a Marilyn Monroe type, but times 100 to the 100th power. ultra feminine,
They
beyond,
try a little too hard.
yeah, and it comes off very, very cartoon-esque. And it's the same thing like with parade, with the gay pride parade. I had an argument with somebody about this a while ago, and they said, what about, they brought up the Halloween parade, because I said, there's no other parade where you have people, parading around
Right.
in what are those called again? Where you had
Thongs.
chaps, assless chaps, thongs. So he turns around and he goes, well, what about the Halloween parade? They do it there. I said, you're equating a parade where you want people to treat you the same as everybody else with a parade that people dress up. Think about what you're saying here, and party. That's the
Big
equivalent.
difference.
And
It's a
it
different
kind of got what I was saying. And what it is I hear throughout my entire life, I've heard from gay people, both lesbian and and homosexual. Well, they're both homosexual.
Right.
Lesbian and I don't use the gay because that's not. I don't want to use any bad word, but you understand what I'm saying. Throughout my life, I've heard treat us equal, but you don't act equal. Okay, you act like somebody. No, you act like somebody who's been in jail for 90 years, and you just got out, and somebody threw you.
Right.
Somebody threw you in a house with a bunch of chicks who were in bikinis. You're acting like lunatics.
There's
Okay.
ways of behaving.
Yeah, nobody. Listen, nobody. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody wants to see you shaking your ass on a float. You get on a float and wave to people the way everybody else does, and then we respect you. Right? Then we respect you.
Right.
But if you're gonna be a clown, you're gonna be treated like a clown.
Right.
It's just if you live in a circus, chances are you're a clown, man.
That's it.
Anyway, I should, and I'm not insulting anybody. I'm really trying not to.
No. We don't
But
insult no one.
You want to be treated like everybody else, act like everybody else.
That's all you got to do.
And
You just go overboard.
And believe me, I'm so far from homosexually confused, and by that I won't use the term homophobia because I'm not afraid of any homosexual. They're people. I'm not afraid of anybody.
We know people. Like
So I'm not worried.
Like that.
Right, I'm not worried about So I'm going to use the term that they really mean, which is homosexually confused. We're confused about their lifestyle or whatever.
Can I throw a joke in it?
Go.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with gay people either. They bend over backwards for you.
Oh, that was cruel. That was really cruel. Anyway, okay, so he just blew my whole thing. I just went through like 5 minutes of how and he just fucked it up royally. It's like, okay.
That's me, the fuck
That's
up.
right. I don't mind. I like him anyway.
I don't get to sit home.
But what it really is I want to respect everybody.
Right,
I want to respect everybody. But the same way I wouldn't respect a heterosexual who is acting like an idiot, I can't respect a homosexual who is acting like an idiot.
It works both ways.
That's it.
It works both ways. We're not like that. It works both ways. You don't need to walk in the street kissing your girl, tonguing her down.
Right. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that with a guy and a girl. I don't want to see it with two girls. Anyway, we'll discuss that later.
I don't want to see it with.
Yeah. I don't want to see it in the street with people like that might be with me. It would make me uncomfortable.
Right.
Personally, I can deal with it. But I don't want to see any of that in the street with people that will make me like I have my kids with me or something like that. Okay. Now I got the perfect example, Kerry. Got the perfect example. Okay. I could hang out with Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner. I could hang out with her.
Oh yeah.
And you see, I just used the term her. Yeah. I didn't even second thought it. Okay. It wasn't like. Believe me, I'm 59 years old. I remember Bruce. Okay. I remember cheering for Bruce in the decathlon.
Yes, we watched.
I remember this. Okay. So if anybody would have an impression, right? If anybody would have an impression of him as a him, it would be me.
It's us.
I dug him when he was on Chips.
We saw him Wheaties.
He was on Chips. He used to play one of the officers on Chips.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and you see how quickly she flew out of my mouth. You know why? Because I respect her. I respect her the way she thinks.
Classic.
I don't think she's transformed or transitioned. I don't want to use transformed because that's a little bit. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
She's a very classy.
So I'm going to use the term transition. I don't think she transitioned for attention. Okay, she transitioned because that's what she wanted to do, and I get that. Dylan Mulvaney has not transitioned. All he did was put on some makeup, throw on a wig.
And
he still has all his private parts.
Right, and a dress.
Right, so don't tell me he committed to anything, because he didn't. That's someone who wants attention.
Right, it's like the rest of them. They just dress up and want to go into girls' sports and this and that. They just dress up.
I'm going to tell you straight out, I have a penis, and if I ever cut mine off, that's commitment. Okay, that's commitment. I can put on. Listen, next time if you guys want, I'll get dressed up as a chick. Okay, and I'll show you that anybody can do it with or without a penis. Doesn't matter. But until I cut off my penis, I haven't committed.
Still a man.
I have not committed to that
You're
transition.
still a man.
And all I'm looking for is attention at that point, or I'm feeling my way through.
Right.
But if I'm on TikTok and I'm acting like her, I want attention. Him, her. I want attention.
Right. That's attention.
That's the difference.
It's like the others, like with the sorority we just talked about. They want attention because there's no need for you to dress up and go into a.
I don't even want every homosexual to act like Jenner. I want every person to act like Jenner. Homosexual, heterosexual,
Every person.
Bisexual, trisexual, quadrisexual, whatever you are. I want you to act as civil as she does.
So she's fair, and she's got class, and she's fair. You ever hear her talk about that? She's fair. She'll tell you.
You should look at her stances on the swimming, on the swimming, the girls with the swimming competition.
Oh, she's with the women.
She's totally on the women's side. She understands that women have come so far, and these trans athletes are men.
And we talked about that
and they're
in one of our
ruining
shows,
women's sports. They're totally ruining women's sports.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's enough of my
one
rant.
more real quick. One more. Riley,
Go.
Riley Gaines, the swimmer too.
Awesome chick.
She's protesting and everything. She
Right.
was attacked, by the way.
Yeah, she wasn't just attacked. She was kidnapped. By the way, she was kidnapped.
So
what happened there was she got into the room, and they somehow the protesters got in there and wouldn't let her out and was asking for money from the police in order to let her out. Their exact words were, "Since you put us through some stress, we deserve some money."
Wow. See that? But anyway, that's enough of that. But that's what we're talking about.
Okay. So where are we going next?
I would say there's there's one here. Very disturbing if you just watched it. If you, I mean, it's out there now. The nurse.
Oh, I was just gonna bring that up, man. Give me a high five on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very disturbing.
God, you can do. You take that.
A nurse, 6 months pregnant, leaving her job.
At Bellevue.
At Bellevue.
Which? Oh, wait, hold on. She works at Bellevue. Now understand this. Right. No, downtown Manhattan.
Oh, it's downtown
Manhattan.
I thought they said she's.
No, downtown Manhattan.
Sorry.
Okay, so she works at Bellevue, and I'm not putting any racial notes on this, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is a woman. If you work at Bellevue, and I'm telling you because I was in an accident, and I was brought to Bellevue Trauma Center after a motorcycle accident.
Mm-hmm.
And let me explain something to you. If you work there and you're a nurse, you have worked on hundreds of patients who are African American, hundreds, maybe thousands.
Yep.
Okay, I'm telling you that is a fact. And I'm talking about in a year, it's hundreds. God, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Now, with this case here, they're making out to be racist. And this is very sad. And she's 6 months pregnant. Go ahead.
You want me to tell them the whole thing?
Bike, right?
Okay.
Yeah, she wants to rent a bike.
So here's what happened. Okay, so this is a nurse who had been working a 12-hour shift at Bellevue. A pregnant,
6 months pregnant.
6 month pregnant nurse at Bellevue worked a 12-hour shift. 12-hour shift. So she leaves the shift, and along the way, she goes on her app, and she gets a city bike. And she gets the number for it. She goes to the city bike. There's four black teenagers sitting around it. Just wait. I guess they heard it beep or unclick or whatever, so they must have known that someone was coming to get it. So when she came, they were waiting for her to unclick it so she could just take it. So she was smart enough to not unclick it. They abused her to the degree that it was absurd, okay, in terms of telling her it's not her bike, it's not
what it is.
It's their bike, it's this and that.
And the sad part is, right at the end.
Okay, so anyway, let's get to this. So anyway, this goes on, and of course it gets videotaped. And she's pregnant, and she cries, and then she stops crying. Now, I'm going to explain something to you first off. I've seen pregnant women stop and start crying on the spot of a dime, okay? And
they could just be standing there.
It's the
Anybody
hormones.
who has married
you can't help it.
Right.
And you can stop and start immediately. That's the way it works. And some people are different emotionally. And nurses are a lot stronger. So they do have control over their emotions because they deal with life and death every day.
They see it.
Okay, so let's just go there. So instead of people waiting like you're supposed to do to find out what happened, they only seen a minute and 30-second clip of what went on. Everybody's outraged. The Post. It's a Karen who's using her tears,
her whiteness,
her tears and her white supremacy to steal a bike from four black men. So there's a pregnant woman who went and stole a bike from
Wait a minute.
4 black men. Think about that, man.
6 months pregnant.
6 months pregnant, and she went to steal a bike from 4 black men because that's what
This is what they're saying.
That's what pregnant women do. They don't eat pickles and ice cream anymore. They steal bikes from black men. Okay, so that was the Post, the Times, Nurse Karen.
She's a delusional.
Lets white supremacy take over while she's forcing black teens to give them their bike. Crump the lawyer.
He's a lawyer. This
Crump
is the
lawyer turns around and he's like, "This is what white people have done to black people,
kids, right? Black people
over all this time, and she's using her tears and her whiteness
white supremacy
to
get these kids in trouble.
And they could get hurt or even killed. Okay, well, let's get clear about this now. It turns out she's got the receipt for the bike.
I was about to say she has a receipt.
She's got the receipt for that
she went
bike.
to. That they wanted to take.
Yet not one of these outlets, including Crump, will turn around and say they were wrong. Do you know why? Because it doesn't sell newspapers, and Trump can't get clientele without it. He depends upon white and black hatred.
And these people are not playing a race card. Okay.
It'll all be found out, just like the Sandman
Just watch
case.
the video. All you gotta do is watch the video. You're gonna see the young lady, 4 men around her, but she's stealing a bike.
And they're all bigger than her. They're all bigger than her. Literally, they're all at least 6 foot and better.
Okay. But she's a criminal. She's the bad one. These are the people that...
Oh, wait. We left one part out. Her job at Bellevue.
Has to investigate.
Has to investigate it.
They suspended her for days.
They suspended her over it. They actually, this is how stupid hospitals are. That they think a white nurse at about 5'6", who's 6 months pregnant,
just worked 12 hours.
Just worked 12 hours, had nothing better to do. Unless she was on meth, she wasn't going to rob a bike from 4 black guys. Okay, unless she was on fucking meth, she was not going to rob a fucking 4 black guys. That's just absurd, man.
And she has.
And these are the people we let cut us open. Think about that.
Yeah. Yeah. These are the people, if you're dying, you go, right? Put it this way, just let me die.
Yeah. It's probably going to happen anyway. I mean, might as well cut out the middleman.
Just let me die out in the street.
At least I won't have to worry about a bad looking scar in my death.
Fucking A.
It's so stupid. The world has gotten to a point where
this lawyer should be disbarred. But this lawyer should be disbarred.
Oh, Crump should definitely be disbarred.
I mean, that's a racist remark.
His name gives me a headache. I'm not even kidding. His name gives me a headache. Anyway,
it's a shame. It really is a shame. But this is what's going on.
The sick part about all of this is that it's a handful of people who stir race, and they can't wait to do it.
Right.
And it's really scary.
And everyone's hiding.
And the truth of the matter is, if they'd shut their mouth, literally 85% of all of this tension would go away. And it's got nothing to do with.
Yeah, you're right. Because when you see this video could be easily. This whole thing could have been solved right then and there.
Oh, it's the simplest thing in the world.
Now they're making it out like she's being investigated. She got laid off with pay, whatever the hell it is. And
let me tell you something. She's going to be almost as rich as Nick Sandman when this is over with. When this is over with, she's had death threats. She's got death threats over a fucking bicycle. The people who are threatening her have nothing to do with it.
In her building where she lives.
This is ridiculous. Some lady in her building, some African American woman, is like, yeah, well, that's the way white people act. What are you, a fucking moron?
Yeah, they are.
Are you a moron? Where the fuck do you live?
They don't know.
You're like 80-something, and you still feel that way?
Yeah,
you're a moron.
Yeah, she was in her 80s, and
wow.
What happened to the race supposed to be gone? But see, they're bringing it back.
Yeah.
They're bringing it back. Listen, because if you watch this video, it has nothing to do with race, has nothing to do with anything. If there were 4 white kids standing over it, she's still right.
Listen.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. If it was 1 black kid there.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. She was a pregnant white woman. A pregnant white woman, pregnant black woman, pregnant Puerto Rican woman. Let me explain to you, okay? If I don't rent city bikes, I have my own bike. But if I rented the city bikes and I got there and there was a Senegalese, listen to that, Senegalese, okay? If you know what that is, you get what I'm saying here. If there was a Senegalese woman there who was pregnant and she was at the bike, the way we grew up. My simple thing to her would be this. can you show me which bike you're supposed to take on your phone? Can you show me the number? If it's right, give it
I'll
to
give
her.
it to you.
If it's not, help her find the one she's supposed to take, or take yours out if that's the right bike for you. Delete it and let her take it. She's a pregnant freaking woman.
But that's how it goes on
These
today.
kids were 15 to 18 years old.
That's how it goes on today. And anybody that's out there that's close to our age right now, or raised with respect, you know what we're
There's
talking
no
about.
respect out there anymore, Kerry.
Nope.
There really isn't.
No, there isn't.
And that's what the problem is. The problem is
Because like my brother just said here, we would let the person go. We would help her find her bike. We're not going to hold it on her.
Yeah, you know what the problem
Come
is?
on.
The mother of these kids turned around and said, "Ooh, you're so special. You're the king. You're prince. You're
a good
everything
boy.
wonderful all rolled into one, and you're smarter than everybody you'll ever meet."
Right.
And
There's
these people,
another one. How about the one, that poor young lady in Chicago, police officer, 4 teenagers surrounded her and just blew her away.
Yep.
No race there.
Yep.
But you don't hear anybody talking about that.
Yeah,
She's
what's her name?
24.
Letitia?
Yeah, 24-year-old, beautiful young lady.
Yeah.
And what, she's a police officer. She did something.
Yep.
Something happened, and they followed her and they ambushed her.
Yeah, on her off time. She wasn't even working at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But you don't hear anybody talk about that. But let's talk about the lady on the bike.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the lady. Even though that was in Chicago, this is here. It
But
doesn't
you know
matter.
what it is? You know what the difference is? The police officer was African American, and the people who did it were African American.
Right.
So that
That's
doesn't
why.
meet the narrative. It has to be black and white. Everything is black and white. And until we stop giving that the notoriety that it doesn't deserve.
Oh, same
Okay,
with that
it's gonna be the
subway
same thing.
situation.
Yeah, that's another thing. Meanwhile, you see how many people came out and said, we
Right.
felt like we were in danger, like this guy was
Young
going to
black
kill
lady
us.
just came out, so there's
Yeah.
no race involved.
The lady, do you remember a while back, this guy attacked the lady, and he actually knocked her eye
In
out.
Jamaica.
Yeah, I
In
don't know.
Jamaica.
I remember
just saw her.
exactly
She
where.
was just on Fox News.
Yeah, she turned around.
She lost her eye, and she
if
might
he had
lose
been-
her other eye.
Right. If he had been there, this might not have happened. And
Oh,
yet,
talk about
now,
that.
I'm
Really,
not
sorry.
saying nothing. Go ahead.
That guy you just said with the Jamaican one, the lady.
Yeah.
And then a guy came,
I was just bringing that up.
walked in on
And
him,
ran out.
freaking ran like a
Ran
whip.
out. I
Now,
gotta
if you
tell
would
you.
approach this guy, that lady would not have her eye knocked out.
Just run over and push him. Just run over and push him as hard as you can to
something.
get him away. She can get up. There's two of you there. If you
That
don't
guy-
think you can handle him.
I hope he doesn't sleep at night.
Yeah.
He's a wimp.
Yeah.
Because that
Well,
poor lady.
I don't want to go that route because we don't know what his. Listen, I don't want to call him nothing, and I don't want to do that. Listen, we don't know what his background is. He might have been jumped by.
True.
We don't know. We just don't know. He might.
It's the same situation.
Dude, he might have a plate in his head or a bad back or something that he doesn't feel he could have handled it. I get that. But to just leave her like that,
That's what I mean. Okay, yeah, just to leave.
even if he got outside the bar thing and started yelling at the guy to get his attention, to get him away, or throw something at him, that maybe. But I'm not going to get into calling him a name. I don't want to do that.
After that, he went back and started kicking the crap out of him.
Right.
Now,
Well,
if he would have stopped him,
if he would have threw something at him from outside,
call for help.
Yeah, well, something. But instead, he just ran away. I don't want to use the term, but like a wuss, he really did run away. But again, there might be something wrong with them. Maybe, maybe he's got a lung issue. I don't know, but I don't want to assume that he's a bad person.
And I just saw that lady too, and I feel sorry for her. And bringing that up, and then now you see what happened here with the Neely situation, the Penny, and you're going to blame the poor man. When you see what's going on in the subway, just talk to that lady that you just talked about right there. With the eye.
Right.
Go talk to her.
And then
Go see how she feels.
There's some journalist named Elizabeth
Oh,
Spears
geez.
who is writing that she rides the subway all the time with her child, and she's never been menaced. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a story. Okay, I think I told this in one of my other ones.
We're all imagining things. So.
We're imagining. Now, the Neely thing happened last Wednesday.
That's
okay?
funny.
Last Thursday. This was the Wednesday, the Thursday. I went to take the train, and I got on the train with a homeless guy who had a cane.
The cane, you told him right.
A guy got on. He looked to be just out of college. He got whacked in the head by the cane for no freaking reason whatsoever. The guy goes, "I don't like the way you fucking look," and hits him in the head with the cane. So don't tell me. And that's not a rare occasion. Okay, I see that almost every trip I take on the subway. Okay, then I see somebody going outrageously crazy or off
just
the
scream
mark.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, they're just insane.
They
Okay.
just yell out of nowhere.
So I don't know what her problem is, or where maybe she takes the train one stop in like the best part of Manhattan or
Maybe
something
she
like
don't
that,
take the
or
train. Maybe she lies.
she probably does. But that's not the point. She
But
really
she thinks we're all delusional.
yeah, we're all
She
idiots,
says,
and you know
what was
we
it?
don't.
Imagination.
Yeah, it's the
ghosts.
no imaginary monsters. That's what she
Imaginary
said.
monsters.
We have imaginary. Neely was an imaginary monster. He didn't really exist. You know, I can give you
Right,
five
the guy
others
that
that don't
the guy that threw that
exist.
lady to the ground, beat her.
Yeah, he doesn't exist.
They don't exist.
The people who push you on the tracks that don't exist.
Don't exist.
Go to YouTube and look them up. They exist. Anyway, okay,
It
so
happened.
let's see. What else can we go on to? This has been a pretty decently long one, actually.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
Do you want to do one more, or do you want to
Yeah,
you want
we'll
to cut
do
it
one
there?
I'll do one more.
Okay, what you got for me? Got anything?
I don't even know. It's a long one. That's the time. I just had to go.
Nah, okay. I
The
think.
FBI.
Oh, okay.
Go
Yeah, well,
corrupt.
we could talk about that. That's good. Okay,
What
so
about corruption?
well, it turns out now there's something else. I don't know if you heard this one, but supposedly in 2016, the FBI
That's insane.
had 4 cases going against Clinton. 1 was against Hillary, 3 were against
Bill.
the foundation.
Oh, the Clinton Foundation.
And
yes.
it turns out that they were also looking into 2 countries that were trying to get what's the word I'm looking getting good with Clinton. What's the word I'm looking for? Influence. They wanted to influence. They wanted Clinton to influence certain things for them.
All right. Well, the reason I brought it up is I'm sorry. It's very sad
Good
because
pick.
we had 3 whistleblowers.
Yep.
And
There's
the 3
been a lot.
whistleblowers, they had their lives ruined. One guy went homeless with his family.
Yep.
Because you want to speak the truth. This is what's going on. And let me remind you, we live in America. We have laws. It's your freedom. You can say you got to speak the truth any way you want, without any repercussions.
Reprisals, right? No reprisals.
But in this world today, nah, that's not right. Sorry, that's terrible. I mean, 3 people losing their lives because they came forward. FBI is corrupt. So to bring us back to that, the election was rigged.
Well, you know what's really funny? I got to
Right?
bring this up. Wait, I got to bring this up because this.
It's terrible.
And listen, I've had an argument with people about this. Like they'll turn around and say, "Oh, the election wasn't rigged." I'll explain it to you real quick, okay? Forgetting the idea, and I don't want to say that I don't think it happened because I do think it happened. Do I think there were ballots stuffed? Absolutely, but I'm not even going to go there because that's too easy. That just took a judge to say it didn't happen when, you know, he doesn't know his ass from his elbow. So we're not even going to go there. How it was rigged was by Blinken going to 51 Intel chiefs,
FBI agents,
FBI Intel chiefs, not just
Intel
agents,
chiefs,
Intel chiefs,
right? Intel chiefs.
And getting them to write that the Russian, that Hunter Biden was Russian collusion, and
his laptop.
Yeah, his laptop was all Russian disinformation and all of this. In order now, and they have this in writing. Okay, this is not me making this up.
It's all
in
right.
order to give Joe a talking point for when Donald Trump brought it up. Okay, so that right there is telling you that they know that if this is brought up, it's going to have detrimental reactions to the vote, right? To the vote for Biden,
So
and
they
don't
didn't
want
want to
it.
bring it up.
So it's no different than hiding something.
Right.
It's no different if somebody had a rape, let's say, and hiding it from the public so that they can't see it or
Right.
they can't hear about
Right.
it. Same exact thing. That's one way. Okay, so that's an initial way.
And the sad part is, Blinken is our Secretary of State now.
How do you think he got that job? Do you think he helped Biden a little bit? It's a good possibility, isn't it?
Put the pieces together, people.
Yeah, it's
Connect
really
the dots.
so absurd how
Connect the dots.
corrupt the Democrats really are.
Like you said, we're independent. So
I would have never believed it.
no,
until,
this is very
you know.
sad to our country. It's not democracy. I mean, FBI is supposed to protect you, help you, solve equally.
And instead, what they did was they became a campaign for the Democrats.
Political,
They just
Political
everything
pawns.
is yeah,
right? Political pawns, man. That's it.
absolutely.
That's it. That's terrible. I mean, hey, people out there being raped, they gotta go look for killers and this and that. And what did they do? They sent them to the parents who were protesting against the teachers to protect their children. The parents are worse than the terrorists out there.
that's true.
And I mean, come on. Okay, So
It's a really ironic world we live in.
Yeah.
That's what it's come down to. It's gotten really ironic.
So we're saying is in 24, watch who you vote for. Let's get these people out of office because if you want your country back, you want your city back where you live, where you can step outside and walk again.
We need 12 years of Republicans to get this back. Hey, stop it. I'm sorry. All right, listen, we're going to cut it there because I think he's going to keep doing that. And I don't want you to have to hear that. It's bad enough we do. Anyway, guys, thank you so much.
Enjoy your weekend. It's a pleasure.
Please,
Be safe.
leave us some comments. We love hearing from you.
Yes, we love your views. We love hearing.
I'm going to try to make this a little more fun next time if I can learn how to do it. If any of you guys know how to turn this into a cartoon, please let me know. I've seen it done, and I have no idea how to do it.
We'll look like the Simpsons.
But I would love to do it because I think it would be hysterical. I don't know. I think it would be hysterical if we were cartoons.
We'll look like the Simpsons.
Yeah, and it has to be better looking than we are actually. So, anyway. Homie, I love you.
Listen, folks, enjoy your weekend. It's the weekend. Enjoy. You worked hard all week. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.
Later, people.